Hello everyone, dear friends. You all know that you cannot build a smart home without sensors, and temperature and humidity sensors are one of the foundations of comfort at home. Personally, I prefer sensors with a display, because it is convenient when you can not only check the temperature and humidity in the app or use this data for automations, but also simply walk up and immediately see the readings on the screen. And now I came across a rather interesting smart ZigBee temperature and humidity sensor. It not only displays temperature and humidity, but also shows the current time and date. At the same time, the sensor itself is quite compact and looks neat. In this review, let's take a detailed look at this sensor. We will examine its appearance, specifications, connection to the Tuya smart home, check how it works in automations, and separately see whether it can be used in Home Assistant via Zigbee2MQTT, despite the fact that the seller states there is no such support. This is a smart ZigBee temperature and humidity sensor with a display, backlight, and time and date display. It works through the Tuya Smart or Smart Life app. For connection, a Tuya ZigBee hub or Tuya multi-mode gateway is required. The temperature measurement range is from -9.9 degrees to 60 degrees Celsius. The stated accuracy is plus or minus 1 degree. Humidity is measured from 0 to 99%. The stated accuracy is plus or minus 5%. The sensor also supports switching the temperature between degrees Celsius and degrees Fahrenheit, has a screen backlight, and can be used in smart home automations. The sensor comes in a small cardboard box. There is no need to worry about delivery. The sensor itself is inside a plastic box, and the display is additionally covered with thick cardboard. As expected, apart from the sensor itself and the manual, there is nothing else in the package. The manual is in English, and what is nice is that it is specifically for the ZigBee version, not a universal one for all variants. Among the useful things here, there is a section about resetting the device and connecting it to the Tuya smart home. The sensor itself is quite compact. Its dimensions are 56 by 56 mm and the thickness is 23 mm. The entire front part is occupied by the display. On the back side there is the battery compartment cover. This sensor requires as many as 3 AAA batteries. I will use rechargeable batteries, and the sensor also works normally with them, although many sensors do not really like 1.2 volt voltage. Above on the body, there is a small loop thanks to which the sensor can be hung on the wall on a small nail. All edges are straight, so it can also simply be placed on a horizontal surface. On the top edge, there is a button. A short press turns on the display backlight. A long press resets the device and puts it into connection mode for the Tuya smart home. The display itself is divided into 3 parts. At the top, the current date, battery status, and ZigBee or Wi-Fi pairing icon are displayed. Below, in slightly larger digits, the current temperature and humidity are shown. And at the very bottom, in the largest digits, the current time is displayed. After synchronization with the app, the date and time become up to date. The display is fairly easy to read and has good viewing angles. When the backlight is turned on, the result is also excellent. But there is one small nuance. If you look at the display from top to bottom, the LEDs are slightly visible, and readability becomes worse. But if you look from bottom to top, everything is excellent. Before connecting, we make sure that the pairing indicator is blinking on the sensor. If the indicator is not active, hold the backlight button for about 10 seconds until the sensor enters connection mode. After that, open the Tuya Smart or Smart Life app and press Add Device. Then select the required device type, any Wi-Fi or ZigBee device, depending on the version of your sensor. In my case, this is exactly the ZigBee version, so a Tuya ZigBee hub is required for connection. Then we follow the prompts on the smartphone screen. After some time, the sensor is added to the Tuya smart home ecosystem, after which you can already view the temperature, humidity, battery charge, and configure automations in the app. On the main screen of the app, the current temperature and humidity readings are immediately visible. This is convenient because you do not need to enter the device plugin every time. We go inside the plugin. At the top, the name of the sensor is displayed, and it can be renamed. Below are the current temperature and humidity readings. There is also a comfort level indication here. Right now, the app shows that the temperature and humidity are within the comfortable range. If the values go beyond the set limits, the comfort information will also change. Below is a temperature and humidity graph for the last 5 hours. If you tap on the graph, a separate statistics menu opens. Here you can view temperature changes by day, month, or year. The same is also available for humidity, statistics by day, month, or year. Also, directly from the main screen, you can create a scenario for controlling other devices in the smart home. For example, a ready-made preset. If the temperature reaches 30, then perform a certain action. But we will look at this separately in the automation section. Now let's move on to the settings. And here the sensor pleasantly surprised me. First of all, you can enable notifications for the lower or upper threshold of temperature and humidity. This is convenient, for example, for a child's room or any room where it is important to clearly control temperature and humidity. Next, information about the battery status is displayed. You can also switch the measurement units from Celsius to Fahrenheit. And one more important point, which is not so often found in similar sensors, is temperature and humidity calibration. That is, if you have a verified hygrometer or another accurate device, the values of this sensor can be adjusted. Temperature can be adjusted in steps of 0.1 degrees up or down. Humidity can be adjusted with an accuracy of 1%. By default, the low battery alarm is also enabled. At the time of making the review, there were no updates for the sensor. The ZigBee module version is 1.0.13 and the microcontroller module version is 1.0.1. To be honest, I would not even look into the automation section, because everything here is quite clear. But still, I will show what possibilities are available. Since this is a sensor, in scenarios it is primarily used as a trigger in an if condition. There are 5 conditions in total here, but most likely, 2 main parameters will be used most often: temperature and humidity. For temperature, the available conditions are less than, equal to, greater than, within range, and outside range. For humidity, the conditions are the same. The battery charge level, temperature calibration, and humidity calibration are also displayed in automations. But I do not think these parameters will often be used in real scenarios. The simplest example of automation: if the temperature drops below 23 degrees, turn on a smart socket with a heater or start the heating boiler. But here it is important to remember that such scenarios usually work when the set value is crossed. That is, if the temperature was already below the set threshold before the scenario was created, the automation may not trigger immediately. It will trigger exactly when the value crosses the set boundary. Write your ideas for automations with such a sensor in the comments. I think this will be useful for many people. If you use the sensor itself as an executable device in an action, then there are not many options here. Essentially, only 2 parameters are available: temperature calibration and humidity calibration. Now let's check what this sensor sends to Home Assistant through the official Tuya integration. We go to the integration, refresh the list of devices, and find our sensor. In my case, it was identified as T&H Sensor 2 from Tuya. In terms of entities, everything here is quite simple. The following are passed to Home Assistant. Temperature. Right now the sensor shows 26.2 degrees Celsius. Humidity is 52%, and the battery status is currently displayed as low, meaning a low charge level. The device activity history is shown separately. For example, Home Assistant records changes in the battery status, as well as moments when the sensor became unavailable. That is, through the Tuya integration, the sensor properly passes the main parameters: temperature, humidity, and battery status. But there are no additional entities here, such as date, time, backlight, calibration, or comfort status. For basic automations, this is quite enough. Now let's check the second option: connecting directly to the Home Assistant server's ZigBee gateway through Zigbee2MQTT. I will leave the link to the dongle in the video description. To do this, put the sensor into pairing mode, hold the button on the body until the connection indicator appears. After that, start searching for new devices in the Zigbee2MQTT plugin and see whether the sensor will be detected, despite the fact that the seller states there is no Zigbee2MQTT support. And here is an interesting point. Despite the fact that in the product description the seller indicated a lack of Zigbee2MQTT support, the sensor was still detected for me. Moreover, it was not detected as an unknown device, but properly as a temperature and humidity sensor. Even the device image was pulled incorrectly. Inside the device in Zigbee2MQTT, the main parameters are available. Temperature is 26.2 degrees Celsius, humidity is 52%, battery status is middle, and signal quality is 145 LQI. There is also switching of temperature units, Celsius or Fahrenheit. Now let's look inside the device itself in Zigbee2MQTT. Here, the sensor is already identified as a supported device, and with the status supported native, meaning without any external converters. The device type is N device, meaning this is a regular battery-powered Zigbee device that is not a router and does not relay the signal for other devices. The model is identified as TS0601, the manufacturer is Tuya, and in the Zigbee2MQTT database the device was pulled in as ZTH08 temperature and humidity sensor. The firmware version is displayed here as unknown, but this does not affect the operation of the sensor. In the Exposes tab, we see all the parameters that are available in Zigbee2MQTT. Temperature is transmitted here, 26.2 degrees. Humidity is 52%. Battery status, temperature unit switching between Celsius or Fahrenheit, and Zigbee signal quality, which is currently 153 LQI. If you open the State tab, the same data is already visible in JSON format. Here, temperature, humidity, battery_state, temperature_unit, and link quality are transmitted. The only nuance is that the battery status in Zigbee2MQTT is displayed as low for me. Most likely, this is due to the fact that I use 1.2-volt rechargeable batteries. The sensor itself works normally with them, but the charge level may not be detected entirely correctly. Overall, the result is good. Despite the seller's warning, the sensor connected through Zigbee2MQTT was correctly identified, and transmits all the main parameters needed for Home Assistant and automations. To sum up, the sensor turned out to be quite interesting. First of all, I liked it because of its display. Here, not only temperature and humidity are displayed, but also the date and time. For a regular room sensor, this is convenient. You do not need to open the app every time to see the current readings. In terms of operation in Tuya Smart Life, everything is expectedly good. The sensor connects, transmits temperature, humidity, battery status, shows graphs, supports threshold notifications, and even allows calibration of temperature and humidity. For the Tuya ecosystem, this is quite a full-fledged device. I was separately pleased that, despite the seller's warning, the sensor connected normally to Zigbee2MQTT for me. It was identified as a supported device, the correct image was pulled in, and in Home Assistant you can get the main parameters: temperature, humidity, battery status, measurement units, and signal quality. Among the nuances, would note power from 3 AAA batteries and not entirely correct charge detection when using 1.2-volt rechargeable batteries. The sensor itself works with them, but the battery level may be displayed incorrect. Although the data update frequency cannot be configured, the sensor transmits values according to its own algorithm when the temperature or humidity changes. But I noticed that when pressing the button on top, the data is immediately updated in the Tuya app or, accordingly, through Zigbee2MQTT. Other than that, I like the device. It is a compact Zigbee sensor with a good screen, backlight, reading history, automations, and normal integration both in Tuya and in Home Assistant through Zigbee2MQTT. If you specifically need a temperature and humidity sensor with a display, and not just a small screenless box, then this option can definitely be considered. You will find all product links in the description under the video. There is also a link to the Telegram group where you will find not only new products for the smart home system, but also coupons, other communication, and answers to questions. There are also links to the Smart Home Forum, where all topics are divided into sections for more convenient communication and information search. There are also links to social networks Facebook and X. Please do not forget to leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and subscribe to the channel so you do not miss other interesting videos about smart and not so smart home systems. All the best to everyone. Peaceful skies and kindness. Bye bye.